Hey, what's up and welcome back. My name is Joe, and today I want to answer the most common question I get, and it's what film recipes do you use? So today we're going to talk about film recipes I use for the Fujifilm system. Specifically, I use the Fujifilm X100VI, but it should work with any of the new Fujifilm cameras with the latest sensor. I'm going to give you 4 of my all-time favorites, the ones that I use the most, and then I'll give you 2 honorable mentions that I've used not quite as much, but I like them in certain instances. So let's just dive into it. I want to keep it short, get to the point. I'll also show you how to set them up in your camera if you've never done that before. We'll do that first. If you already know how to do that, feel free to skip that chapter and just get to the good stuff. So let's go. All right, so real quick, I want to show you how you can set up these in case you've never put a film recipe in the camera. So hit the menu button. You want to go to the first menu up here that says IQ. Then we're going to scroll down to the third page, because you want to go to Edit, Save, Custom Settings. And when you come in here, this is where you can set up all your different film recipes, and you can have 7 different slots. So just pick a slot where you want to put a film recipe. We'll go here, Kodak Negative. Click on that. Then you can hit Edit. And then this is where you'll go through and you'll just change all the settings. The settings that I show you, you'll change here. So you'll change your film. You could select your film, simulation, the grain effect, and you do that for all these different settings. And then when you're done, you can go back and then you can enter a custom name it so you can remember it, save that, and then you can do that for all your different slots. And then what I did is I set a custom button on my camera. So this button right here, if I hit this button, you'll see it brings up all my different ones. So when I'm shooting, I can just quickly hit this button and change my film recipe. So that's how you do that. Okay, so to change this custom button on the top here, to change your custom settings, you will just go into the menu, go to the wrench, then hit button dial settings, then go to function setting. Then it's the first button here, function 1, and you want to change it to select custom setting. All right, so that's how you get the film recipe set up. Now we'll go through and talk about the ones that are my favorites. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to also show you some of these I edited, like when I took them, I edited them. So I will show you, if I did end up editing the raw, I'm going to show you kind of my edit compared to the film recipe, so you can kind of see the differences. Some of them are very similar, some of them are drastically different. And then some of these I never even edited the raws, I just used the JPEG straight out of camera. So for those ones, we'll just show you the one with the film recipe. So yeah, let's do it. The first one here is a picture I took out in, just out in the middle of the desert by me. And this first recipe is going to be, so these first 3 pictures are going to be with Portra 400V2, and I'll show you all that info right on the screen right here. So feel free to pause it and get those settings down. For your reference, I got all of these. Did I get all of these? All but maybe one of these I got from the Fuji X Weekly app. They also have a website, so you can go on there and all the information will be on there. I'll post the links to the website in the description below. But yeah, so this is the first one here, Portra 400V2, one of my favorites. I use this one a lot for, bright light mostly, but this one I like for a lot of landscapes. It's also good if you're taking pictures of portraits with people outside. So this is the first one. I'm going to show you the edit that I did on this one though. So you can see here the edit. It's a little warmer and quite different. Kodak Negative film recipe, which we'll talk about next, got almost close to this look, but not quite. I can actually show you what that one looks like too here. So there's what the Kodak Negative version looks like, a little bit different. So, get you most of the way there, not quite all the way, but still a nice film recipe. The next picture with this film recipe is this one that I took in the middle of a dust storm here in El Paso. And you can see just an Ocotillo with quite a bit of dust. And that is the JPEG straight out of the camera. And then you can look at my edited version, not much difference. So I think in this case, the recipe, the film recipe, I mean, it gets you like 90% of the way there. It's quite good actually. So not a huge difference there. The third picture here is my wife and my dog on the beach in California. And this is also Portra 400V2. And then I'll show you my edited version, which I just edited the JPEG. So a lot of times I use the film recipe as a base, and if it's just a little bit off, I'll edit the JPEG. So this is straight out of the camera, and this is the edited JPEG version. And I didn't do much to it. I think I brought down the highlights a little bit, boosted the shadows, boosted the whites, brought down the blacks, increased exposure, and that was basically about it. So not much editing. I kind of just boosted it a little bit, make it pop a little better. So that's the first film recipe. That's one of my favorites, Portra 400V2. Move on to my next favorite, which is Kodak Negative. And I'll pause right here, or pause if you want to get these details on Kodak Negative. First picture here is a tarantula walking across the road in Franklin Mountain State Park here in El Paso, Texas, on a nice foggy kind of low cloud cover day. Here is straight out of the camera. And here's my edited version. So I think this one's kind of different. I like the way the clouds look in the background in the edited version better. And I think the tarantula gets more detail and kind of pops a little bit better too. But still pretty good. So that is the first one with Kodak Negative. The second one here is this old abandoned building I found with a couch and a TV, and it was all, I didn't move anything. This is kind of how the shot was, and I thought it was interesting. So that's Kodak Negative, and I'll show you my version that I edited. Not much difference. The oranges are a little orangier. It's a little warmer. Other than that, still gets you most of the way there. So that's my second favorite film recipe. These are not in any particular order. So that one's Kodak Negative. Third one here is Classic Cubin Negative. This is the only one that is not from the Fuji X Weekly website. I forget the name. Let me find the name of the photographer who I want to give him credit. Osan Bilgi, maybe? I think that is the one who made this recipe, but it's called Classic Cubin Negative. Put the information right here. Probably said his name wrong, my bad. So first one here, I didn't edit this picture, so we've only got one version of it here. I think it turned out great, straight out of camera. I dig it. No need for me to edit this. Second one, same. Took this one of a car in downtown El Paso, and I think straight out of camera, I liked it. Didn't edit it. It's good to go. Classic Cubin Negative is really cool. It's a little more stylized than some of the other ones and doesn't work in every situation. But I feel like with cars, and I've taken a lot of pictures of like motorcycles and kind of old Western towns. I don't know. It's pretty fun. Definitely try this one out. Fourth one. This is one I found recently that I've been using a ton. So for probably the last 3-4 months, it's just been my go-to. And that is the Kodak Ultramax. First photo here is inside of a little bathroom off Route 66 in this old gas station. And you can see between the Ultramax film recipe and my edited version is very different. Like not, I said very different, but I meant it's not very different. There's barely any difference at all. Part of me almost likes the Ultramax version better. There's certain things about the Ultramax version I like better, and there's certain things about my edit I like better. But you can see it's pretty on point. So the thing I like about Ultramax is that it's really good in all conditions. I think it's good indoors, outdoors, low light, bright light. Like it's just so versatile. That's why this has been my go-to for the last few months. I've just been using this one. I love it. Here's another example. This example is probably the biggest difference you'll see between the JPEG straight out of the camera and then the edited version. Here's the JPEG straight out of camera. I just want to show you how good it is at night. I think works great. My edited version, this was back when I really didn't know what I was doing editing, and I didn't want to re-edit this today because I think it's interesting to see. But yeah, here is my edited version. Quite a difference. I think I like the edited version better still. It's maybe a little too stylized and too drastic, but I like that you can see the text on kind of the awning above, and I brought out a little more detail in the shadows compared to the film recipe. So I think in scenes where you know, you really need to bring out detail in the shadows, for example, or you need to do some masking or things like that. You know, you're not going to be able to get there with the film recipes, but still think it looks pretty good with the Ultramax. So that's it for Ultramax. And then I want to talk about 2 honorable mentions. These ones I put as honorable mentions because I don't think they're as versatile as those other 4. I think Portra 400V2, Kodak Negative, Classic Cubin Negative, and Ultramax, they're pretty versatile. I mean, you can use them in quite a different amount of scenes. But these next 2, first one is Pacific Blues. I actually used this in California a bunch and I really liked it. So here's a picture with Pacific Blues straight out of camera. Didn't end up editing this picture just because I liked the way it looked. So this one, definitely check it out. I think it works really well if you're taking pictures with lots of greens. So I really dig that one. And then the other one is going to be Vibrant Arizona. And I think here's a picture. I think actually my wife Laura took this picture in California. So I don't want to take credit for it, but Vibrant Arizona I think works really good on super bright sunny days, in the desert, blue sky days. Took it to Joshua Tree, took a bunch of pictures there with it. So this one, it can be interesting in certain situations, but definitely check it out. I think it's fun if you live in an environment that's like super bright and sunny, which I do. So I use that one a decent amount. So those are my favorites. If I had to pick one of these, and if you're gonna just take one and only use one, I think the most versatile of all of these is Ultramax. So, you know, try that one out. It maybe isn't the most stylized or the most unique looking, but I think it works in most situations. Portra 400V2 would probably be my second go-to. I don't know, Kodak Negative. I love all the Kodak ones. I think I'm just a Kodak, I don't know. I love Kodak, I guess. So that's it. I'm gonna try to keep this short. That's it. If you got any questions, let me know in the comments. Yeah, cool. See you in the next one. Bye.